So eventually I went to Cuba, and there's a search, like, okay, well, let's go look at Cuba, that imaginary real world. And Cuba was an amazing experience. It was like this other full circle of your life, this pop-up book is the best way I can explain it. One of those children's pop-up books where suddenly everything that was in your head becomes 3 dimensions, all those stories and all the family and all the landscapes. But at the end of the day, through poetry and understanding, and poetry has always been my guiding light, a way of investigating my life, investigating my feelings. I realized that great place, but it wasn't exactly the place that of my parents. So there's this real sort of disconnect at the same time that there was an amazing connection. And I couldn't live there legally even if I wanted to. So I said, well, Richard, or Rich, as I like to call myself in my head, let's go to America. As we like to say in Miami, we love living there because it's so close to the United States. And you don't need a passport. So I said, fine, we'll just go to La Cuna, to the crib. And I got a job, my first teaching job after my first book. I moved to Connecticut, thinking, what I was thinking, but I was thinking sleigh rides in the snow, Martha Stewart and me, arts and crafts on Tuesdays, making everything by hand, carving pumpkins. And of course, that didn't quite work. So we all know that was another reality, that it was another idealized version from TV, as I explained earlier. So I said, all right, Rich, well, let's just move back to South Florida, Miami, because this seems to be the only place that you can exist. This place that even today is still sort of floating between these 2 imaginary worlds. It's this really sort of a passageway between the Americas and the United States. And so that didn't quite work out either, and that's what this poem's about. It takes place in Marco Island, which is where I took my partner Mark to Marco Island. It was a place where we used to vacation as kids, and into adolescence. Poor man's vacation was like $150 for the whole week in July, when you sweat to death. And of course, I hadn't been there in 20 years, so I take my partner Mark to take that proverbial sort of trip down memory lane, thinking, of course, nothing has changed. Nobody asked my permission. And I went into this rant and rave, and going, how dare they? And I realized I had one of those moments where you're like, I just became my parents again, didn't I? And what was interesting about that is that in some ways it made me realize that their feelings of this idea of loss, of longing, of trying to find a place was really universal in a different way. Here I was, someone who had no reason to feel like that, but here was Marco Island that became my Cuba in a weird way. And I think it's a really fundamental human sort of feeling. And as I've read this poem throughout the country, I found that everybody has their own little Gulf Motel. That one place in your life, that one memory that you just don't want anyone to mess with. Looking for the Gulf Motel, Marco Island, Florida. There should be nothing here I don't remember. The Gulf Motel with mermaid lampposts and ship's wheel in the lobby should still be rising out of the sand like a cake decoration. My brother and I should still be pretending we don't know our parents, embarrassing us as they roll a luggage cart past the front desk, loaded with our scruffy suitcases, 24 loaves of Cuban bread, brown bags bulging with enough mangoes to last the entire week, our espresso pot, the pressure cooker, and a pork roast reeking garlic through the marble lobby. All because, mijo, we can't afford to eat out. Not even on vacation. Only 2 hours from our home in Miami, but far enough away to be thrilled by the wider sands on the west coast of Florida, where I should still be, for the first time, watching the sun set instead of rise over the ocean. There should be nothing here I don't remember. My mother should still be in the kitchenette of the Gulf Motel, her daisy sandals from Keynote squeaking across the linoleum, still gorgeous in her teal swimsuit and amber earrings, stirring a pot of arroz con pollo, adding sprinkles of onion powder and dollops of tomato sauce. My father should still be in a terry cloth jacket, smoking, clinking a glass of amber whiskey in the amber sunset at the Gulf Motel. Watching us dive into the pool, his two sons he'll never see grow into men who will be proud of him. There should be nothing here. I don't remember. My brother and I should still be playing parcheesi. My father should still be alive, slow dancing with my mother on the sliding glass balcony of the Gulf Motel. No music, only the waves keeping time. A song only their minds hear 10,000 nights back to their life in Cuba. My mother's face should still be resting against his bare chest, like the moon resting on the sea, and the stars should still be turning around them. There should be nothing here I don't remember. My brother should still be 13, sneaking rum in the bathroom, sculpting naked women from sand. And I should still be 8 years old, dazzled by seashells and how many seconds I can hold my breath underwater. But I'm not. I'm 38, driving up Collier Boulevard, looking for the Gulf Motel, for everything that should still be but isn't. I want to blame the condos, their shadows for ruining the beach in my past. I want to chase the snowbirds away with their tacky mansions and yachts. I want to turn the golf courses back into mangroves. I want to find the Gulf Motel exactly as it was and pretend, just pretend for a moment that nothing I've lost is lost.